Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order, this special meeting of the Board of Equalization. It is Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. It is 9:30 a.m. We have a full house today. Mr. Brett Town.
Present.
Mr. Teresa Sellers.
Present.
And I'm Eleanor Thompson, and we have today one taxpayer representative for all 15 of our items, so we'll get Mr. Hayes on the phone.
Good morning. My phone wouldn't answer.
Good morning, Mr. I know how that is. Sometimes the fingers just won't coordinate. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
We're doing
Good
good.
morning.
Okay, so you're the only thing on our docket today. So we have 15 items. Do you have any that you can agree with before we start plowing through the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
BOE 349, 352, 354,
Okay. Let's
260.
take them one at a time. 349 is the first item on the agenda. That would be 3005 North Downing Avenue, R17-240, 1220. The valuations requested by the assessor is $219,500, and you're agreeing to that, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I move on agenda item number 1, BOE 349, that we set the fair market value of this property at $219,500.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next one, Mr. Hayes.
352.
BOE 352,
All right. 2200 North Keaton Avenue, R175701185. The assessor is requesting $192,000, and you're agreeing to that, correct? Right.
I'll make a motion on BOE 352, item number 4 on the agenda to set the fair market value at $192,000 by agreement of both parties.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
next, BOE 354,
Okay. 354. That's 6704 Willow Ridge Drive, R181701-610. Mr. Assessor, what were you asking for on that one?
This one we have it on for $223,500.
And you agree to that, Mr. Hayes?
yes, sir.
All right.
I'd like to move on agenda item number 6, BOE 354, that we set the fair market value for agreement of both parties at $223,500.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there another?
Yes, BOE 364,
Okay. That's item 15 on the agenda. 4921 North Woodward Avenue, R072701-330. What is the assessor requesting on that one?
So we have this one listed at $197,500.
You agree to that, Mr. Hayes? All right.
Make a motion on BOE 364, item number 15 on the agenda to set the fair market value at $197,500 by agreement of both parties.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that brings us to item 2 on the agenda, BOE 350, which is 7508 Northwest 28th, R1754-31675. The assessor has set it at $213,000. I show a valid sale for $159 on June of 2021. The value listed on the paper is $207,000. You got a different number, Mr. Hayes?
This is 675, correct?
Yes.
The value listed on the paper is how much?
207,000.
That's what you are requesting. What Ryan requested, the assessor's value is 213.
I'm a little bit higher at 208.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Looking at, properties that you guys, like I said, most of the time I stay on you guys' information because, you know, like I said, my history being from a CAD myself at one point, you believe your comps are pretty fair. Looking at the subject property at 1,690 square feet, I noticed that it was 350 square foot larger than number 2. It was larger than number 3, but I still use it. I didn't use number 6 because it was the largest. I didn't use number 5 because it was the smaller of the 2 that was sold at the beginning of the year, sold in March. You have number 5 was 1392.
So you just used 2 of them, comp 2 and 3, and what you took the average of them?
I used 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Actually, I didn't use 4. No, let me change it. I'm sorry. I'm looking at without looking at my notes. I apologize.
That's
I
all
used
right.
1, 2, and 5. I did use number 5. I didn't want to use number 4 because it had the smallest adjustments.
And why didn't you use 3?
I used 3 also. I didn't use 4 and 6.
The 1, 2, 3, and 5.
And why didn't you use 4?
Because it was at the beginning of the year. It was close to March. It had the highest adjustment. Of course, it's going to be higher with the highest adjustment. But I used number 2. It's close to the end of the year. And it adjusted sale was 228. Number 4 was 226.8. So it's 227. So I still had a higher concept. But I didn't use number 6 because it was the largest at 1973. And it had an average CDU. And I try to also, if you look at it, I also try to stay pretty much in the same neighborhood because, you know, they did jump around in subdivisions, that neighborhood. So I try to stay inside the subdivision also. I noticed that, these neighborhoods must be pretty large. That some of these subdivisions, when I see 4 and 5 subdivisions, I'm like, how small are you eradicating the concept of neighborhood? Start to see that more often. That when they, because you know normally they're doing 3, or they're doing 6 more. But I noticed that some of them are out of the same neighborhood, and definitely sometimes you're having 4 different subdivisions. And my experience with building, even though you know we have more builders created now, houses 20 and 30, 50 years ago, yeah, it was probably one builder. But as you get to a newer built house, we know that there could be 3 different buildings in one neighborhood, 100 homes, or 80 homes. So since I tried to stay in the same subdivision, the same neighborhood.
Mr. Hayes, I'm sorry, Mr. Hayes, you said you used comp 1, 2, 3, and 5. Did you use the assessor's adjusted value at the bottom of the comps, or did you use the sales value?
I used the adjusted value.
Because I'm not coming up with 208,000 when I average those 3, which is what you typically do. 4, sorry, those 4. I'm getting 213.
This is at near 23rd and Rockwell, right?
This one is Council and 23rd.
Okay.
It's closer to Council, yes.
Okay.
But yes, Rockwell's right there, so it's right in the middle of the 2.
Okay, let's hear from the assessor.
7508 Northwest 28th Terrace is in Bethany. We currently have it valued at $213,000. 2023 was valued at $181,500, and 2022 was $165,500. 2023 and 2022 were both multi-parcel sales. In 21, it was acquired for $159,000 with a legitimate qualified transaction. It is 1,690 square feet, which gives us $126.04 per foot. Our median of all 6 comps is $223,915. and our mean is 215,525. For the comp report we ran, comp 1, comp 5, and comp 6 were all provided by Ryan. Our number 1 is their number 1. Our number 5 is their number 4. Our number 6 is their number 5. I'd like to point out or address that we do make adjustments when the subdivisions and neighborhood codes don't line up right. If there are different economic factors present in those neighborhoods and subdivisions, we do have different subdivisions here, but there have been no adjustments made, which would show that they're all of similar quality, grade, all of that. I also wanted to address that the square footage discrepancy from 6 compared to the subject is only 283 square feet, not significant enough to throw it out as a comp. And when it comes to running the average of just the 4 that Mr. Hayes would like, we can't really do that because number 1 is such an outlier. It would be far more accurate to do the median instead. And I have no further comments on that.
Okay, you get the last word, Mr. Hayes.
I do apologize. I did throw out number 5. Number 6. Like I said, I didn't use that one because it had a CDU and it was a lost. I made sure I say that because it is the only one. It's the only one that is an average. All the rest are the same.
So then you just used 3, 1, 2, and 3.
Number 5 was 1392. And although it was in the same neighborhood in the subdivision, it was I looked at the sale price. Notice that most of these properties sold in the heights.
But I'm trying to get it straight now. How many comps did you use by
I used 3, but notice
1, 2, and 3, right?
Yes, I used 3 because they were close to the end of the year. Now 173, 185, 185, and 178. Then you go to the bottom. You start going up in price, 185, 205, 225. Well, I weighed heavily on number 5 sales. It was one of the smaller ones, and look what it sold. So on one of the highest values.
Why do you keep talking about 5? You told me you tossed it.
Yeah, that's why I tossed it.
Oh,
When I
okay.
looked at it. I
Okay.
put everything in my notes. I looked at the sale price, and the fact it was sold in the beginning of the year. You would have thought that it's going to sell for. Once again, I know you guys don't like this, but if you see a property that, look at the difference between 1392 and 1973. You have almost 600 square feet, correct? Look at the price difference. Look at the time difference of the sale. That's appraisal concept. You got 3 months difference in time, 600 square foot difference in size, 3 years. But one property is only selling for 17,000 more than the other. That lets you know that it's probably been upgraded. Because we don't go and look at each property individually doing that appraisal. That's another price point indicator. That's a key concept when you're doing mass appraisal. So that's why I do that one out.
Okay. I'm going to close hearing on BOE 350 and open the hearing on BOE 351, 7429 Northwest 29th. That's pretty much in the same area. R 175471165. The assessor is asking for 192,500. Last year was 183,500. The year before that, 162,500. I don't have a sale, so I must not have liked it.
So May of 23, 173,000.
Oh,
May of 21, sorry, 173.
okay. And Mr. Hayes, your paperwork is requesting 172,600. Do you have a different number?
189.
Okay.
That's when I use 1, 2, 3, and 6. Number 4, the sale was newer in the year. Notice that once again it sold for the highest value, 205, and it's 1,392 square feet. We also dealing with a concept of different subdivisions.
Comp 5?
5 was the largest. But at 200 now. So here we got property close to 1,000 square feet at 1150. Come 5 is what? 284 square foot larger than southern property. That's almost 1/4, or almost 25%. So that was, we dealing with a concept of economy of scale. We're dealing with 1,000, 1,200, 1,500. When you're going through 250, 300 square foot, now you can use it as a comp when you have the better comp. The other property, 1049, 1128, 1206, all within 100 square feet, 60 to 70 square feet. Come 5 is not, come 5 is the one that I thought that user comp. Number 6, looking at the concept, when it adjusted to meet, it's adjusted better, but the real fact is number 5 is look how old it is. It's 21 years older than the southern property. So of course it should be, it shouldn't have, to me it didn't adjust like 211,449 by it being just a whole. Now, here's the concept of the age. Look at the difference. I'm gonna go back to this like I did yesterday. 21 years, there was a 22.64% adjustment. That hurt my client. That doesn't make sense to me. They adjusted it over 1% per year. Now, can anybody tell me how the algorithm hit that on the nose? How can the 21-year difference be 22.64 adjustment?
Which comp was that?
6.
I'm 5.
Or 5, but right, that's why he's tossed it.
22.64 for 21 years. That's over 1%. That right there is way off. Should not be 22.64 for 21 years.
What do you think it should be?
It should be about 17 to 18. It shouldn't be 22.64. No way.
Okay,
You're adjusting it over 1% per year almost.
right.
That's like 1.25 or 1.21 or something. It's too high. That's just too high to
Okay, so is your 189 the median or the mean of 1, 2, 3, and 6?
That's the mean.
Mean, okay.
But I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this, but am I wrong for feeling that way? I would not want my property to be adjusted 22.64%. So the property is 21 years older. You're adjusting over 1% a year. What's the lifespan on a property? 70 years. That's what we're talking.
70?
How are you adjusting that based off the algorithm at 1% a year? Should it be based off the 70%? Unless it's had an upgrade, that's an appraisal standard. Am I wrong? That's what I was taught.
Okay, let's hear from the appraiser. From the assessor.
All right, 7429 Northwest 29th Street. We're still in Bethany. We're right in the middle of that section. Rockwell and 23rd, Council and 36, just right there. We currently have it valued at $192,500. 2023 it was $183,500. 2022 it was $162,500. It was acquired, Ms. Sellers pointed out, 2021, $173,000. It is 1,150 square feet, which gives us a price per square foot of $167.39. Our current 6 comp report gives a median of 195,134 and a mean of 195,177. And just before I go any further, I would like to take a moment, maybe explain to Mr. Hayes how our process works here. We don't go out into the neighborhoods and just pick 6 comps, make adjustments, and set a value based on that. We use a model that takes into account all the sales, breaks them down by economic area, certain things that contribute to the value, and then we apply that to the value of the house to figure out what its new value should be. We only use this paired sales analysis method to show that the model has worked and that it is accurate. So picking apart each comp on an individual basis is actually somewhat reductive because that's not how we're arriving at the value. We have 20, 30 sales in most of these areas where if we throw out one, it could easily be replaced by 5, 10 more. So just to mention that, tearing apart our evidence is almost pointless because even the evidence that Ryan did supply almost always supports our value as well. And we're not going through theirs with a fine-tooth comb, even though it is significantly lower quality most of the time. For instance, I ran the 5, Ryan supplied 6 comps, I ran 5 of them.
Continue, go ahead.
Yes, sir. And their adjusted median sales price is $206,000, and their adjusted mean price is basically $203,000. I only made 1 extra copy, but whoever wants it can.
So his are higher than even yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and-
His would suggest actually raising the value of the property.
Okay, let me ask a question on, has a subject property had a significant remodel that you have documented?
%40 in 2019, which is why the effective age has been changed from when it was constructed in 1984 to now it was constructed in 62. We're treating it as if it was built in 1984.
Okay, and on comp 5, the 60-year-old, I'm assuming hasn't had any remodels or else that it would be adjusted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Final word, Mr. Hayes.
So I will respond to his well, I think what we have to realize is that the perfect concept of the information that is retrieved is what we call an algorithm. We do these hearings to make sure the algorithms are correct because we're dealing with machinery, which we know machinery don't always do its job correctly. That's what a human eye in particular sometimes, even though it can also make mistakes. That's why we do all these hearings, to make sure that the information is disseminated and is correct and is fair to the property. So that comment he said, I understand where he's coming from, but if it wasn't like that, most of us would have a job. So in retrospect to that, like I said before, even with the change, I still don't think that the algorithm is correct to be over the amount of years of difference. If you're showing an effective age of 39 and the comparison is 60 years old, and you have a 22.64, but the lifespan of an average house, even if upgraded of 70 years, 22.64 just doesn't do math. That's where the algorithm is. I've worked as an analyst, so yeah, the machine don't always push out the right information. That's why we have a human eye.
Okay. So you're sticking to the 189 and they're at 192. Okay, so
yes,
I'm going to close the hearing on 351 and open item 5 on the agenda, BOE 353, 10841 Sunny Mead Place, R 1788, 7388 5. The assessor is asking for $310,500. Last year was $300,500, and the year before $267,500. Your paperwork is asking for $231,500, unless you give me a different number, Mr. Hayes.
What number is this again?
3885. You like the last 4 numbers or the last 3 numbers?
You can give me the BOE number too. It's better.
353.
Okay. I'm still on the last. And we're at what number?
Your paperwork is 231,500.
Assessor is at 310,500.
Yeah, I'm at 303,500.
303,500. Okay, go ahead.
On this property, they only provided 4. They only provide 4 looking at the concept of the sale price of number 2, being that it's 91 square feet larger than the southern property, 6 years old, the land is a little bit larger. But once again, at $207, almost $208, that's trying to tell you that, hey, this property has been upgraded. It's sold in August. So right next to it, a property is 50 square foot smaller, sold for $84,000 less. 84,000. That's almost what 28% of the whole entire value of these homes at 300 of the what I say the market value of the property. super value number 4 sold at 275, slightly smaller. Somehow it adjusted $30,000 and it sold in the latter part of the year. So I didn't really agree with that assessment. And once again, like I said, I'm starting to notice that trend. And I'm sorry, maybe I need to talk to somebody that handles there because I need to see how that works because I've never seen this before. The 38 to 50 is almost 12%, it's at 11.42. So it's only a custom concept of 0.58% indifferent for 12 years. I've never seen that before.
What was the second number that you taught? You tossed number 2, and what was the other one you tossed?
4,
Number 4.
but I can't tell if he likes it or not.
Well, here's the concept. Once again, we have 11.42 adjusted, right, which hurts my client because this property is 12 years old. This property, they're adjusting 11.42, which does add a significant value to that. That's penalizing that particular property that it's being compared to. It's 11.42%. And I don't think you should do literally 1% per year. No, I don't think anybody would want their house compared to a property 1% per year for a negative amortization for their value. No, that's not, I'm sorry, I'm not the best appraiser, but that's not the way it.
So tell me which of the four that they did, which ones did you use to arrive at 3035?
Ma'am, I actually went ahead and used number 4.
Okay.
Because they didn't provide variance. I didn't use number 3 because of the time of year. All the rest of these were sold at a later date. I don't agree with number 4, but out of the 4, it was better than 2 and 3.
So you used 1 and 4. So is 303,000 the mean of 1 and 4?
303,500 is the mean.
Okay, let me hear from the assessor.
Yes, ma'am. You go ahead and keep it on that one for now. 10841 Sunnymead Place is in the village. It's about 1.5 miles away from Lake Hefner. It's right on Hefner and May. Not on May, but that's the intersection. And we currently have it valued for $310,500. In 2023, it was $300,500. In 2022, it was $267,500. 21 and 22, it was acquired in multi-parcel sales. The last deed sale that I could find was 2003, so not useful in this case. It is a 1,780 square foot property. That gives us a price per square foot of $174.44. Our current median of our 4-comp report is 314,628. Our mean is 328,002. I went ahead and put in 2 of their comps because we had the space for it on the report. I used, and of course I was incredibly smart and linked it to my computer. I used 2744 Ridgeview Drive.
You know which comp that was?
I don't know the number off the top of my head.
2744 Ridgeview.
Yes, ma'am. And
What's the distance, proximity distance to the subject property on that?
on that one, it is 0.24 miles. And then I used 11213 North Villa Avenue, which is 0.29 miles away.
Okay.
Honestly, they're not good comps at all, but I did want to try to use the evidence they provided where I could. The number 6, the one that I put in, the 11213 North Villa, has over $100,000 of adjustments. So take those with a grain of salt. But again, I just want to show that we are being fair and giving proper weight to the evidence that was actually supplied by the taxpayer. That actually does change our median and mean to a little bit lower, 314,000 for the median with their evidence, and then 320,500 for the mean.
So does that mean 6? You took your 4 and put 2 of theirs in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a question on this one, because this one is actually just a mile away from my house, so I drove by it the other day. I was curious, because all 4 of your comps were more than a half a mile away.
Yes, ma'am.
which was a little surprising because it's a pretty dense neighborhood.
Absolutely. They are a little further away, but they are the most comparable. Comp 1 only has $3,000 of adjustments made to it. Comp 2 only has $8,000. Comp 3 is just shy of $8,000, as opposed to theirs are closer, but we're talking $36,000, $100,000. So we did go a little further, not much further out, but
It depends on what direction
exactly.
you're going.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So we did go a little bit further out to get better comps, but I think that ours are accurate. They're there. They're accurate enough that Mr. Hayes is basing his values off of the comps of ours that he likes instead of his own comps.
So is the subject property remodeled? And how much?
50% in 2017. Then more of these.
I'll get those later. Do you have
Absolutely.
the numbers on them? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. I didn't know you were going to be here. I'd have printed out a third set for you. And I don't have anything further to say, I should say.
Okay, you get the last word, Mr. Hayes.
Okay, so someone might think of it, but let me point this out. Looking at number 3.
Of
Number
theirs,
3,
they're number 3? Okay,
number .80, that's the largest differential. And I'm really harping on the effective age thing because the effective age thing is starting to really be a big factor in their adjustment. 0.80, let's go down to the next one. And if you do the 12 times 0.80, that's 9.6. Where's the other 2% coming from? You see the difference? I just want you to see that. If you do 0.8, because if you do the other adjustments, it's even more.
Which one are you looking at, comp 4 or comp 3?
Let's use so from an algorithm concept, let's go 0.80 is what number 3 says.
Comp, you're looking at assessors, comp 3.
Effective age for the subject is 38. Effective age for comp 3 is 37. Minus 0.80. We go down to comp 4. Same neighborhood, just a different subdivision. So no changes. So you have 38 and 50, 11.42. So even if you stayed in the same concept, you got what?
You scroll
11
up
years
just a little
difference.
bit. Just a,
But if you just do 0.80 times,
but this is
12,
50
that's
years, right?
9.6.
The other one was like 39. Yeah.
so where's the 11.42? What is the algorithm using? That's what I'm saying. That's why I realized something's off here. I've been noticing that more and more as I do things. The effective year is being used against the subject property a lot to raise the value. But remember that most of the time the effective years of the subject is not the sale. We're talking about a comparison as property that's been upgraded, most of the time, sometimes remodeled, even if the subject property remodeled. The property is sale is probably going to be developed property. So why are you putting so much emphasis on the effective year to raise the value? That is not good appraisal standards.
no, you're trying to make it as close to the subject property as possible. That is why you're making the
If you don't raise the value of using effective age, that percentage high.
Am I correct?
You just don't.
It's actually reducing the value of the property, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
No, that's
Well, if we're adjusting an older property to a younger age, we raise
To a
the
younger age,
comp
so in that
value.
case,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
raising it.
you raising the value, yeah.
No, but Mr. Hayes, Mr. Hayes,
Yes.
but you're trying to make the property like the subject property. You act like you act,
It's understandable. I'm just saying the percentage is too high. It's making a big difference on the value.
okay,
If this is your property, you would not. If you go around the corner and you see one of your neighbor's properties upgraded, and your property is older, you're not going to want to be close to this property. That's not fair to the property owner. That's the concept from appraisal standards. Because we're doing math, the algorithm is set incorrectly.
okay.
Someone needs to look. Listen, I brought this to people's attention before.
I got, but Mr. Hayes, I got it. So did you used, I don't understand why you want, after they use 2 of your comps to put with theirs and flush it out, it brings the mean down, but it still is 320,500, which is substantially above what they're asking for 310,500, and it's yours. So that's okay. We're going to close the hearing on 353 And we're gonna go to item 7 on the agenda, BOE 355, 2405 Elwood Drive, R 182, 32, 28, 55. The assessor is asking for a valuation of $208,500. Your paperwork says $203,300. You sticking with that one, or you got a different figure?
Hold on, what BOE number is that?
355.
What number you get? 285, that's, Edwood Drive?
2405 Elwood.
What number did you say we are?
855. And you're asking 203,300.
Hey. Two
2855.
BOE 355.
I have 175 in my right one. I do the wrong thing. I'm not showing that in my, which I don't see how.
Those last numbers, do you like 855, or you need 4 numbers, 2855?
20, did I invert those? 2284? I think I inverted them. Oh, God. Hold on, let me look that one up. I think I inverted my numbers because I got a 2855.
What is this near?
Your streets are gonna be between Boulevard and Broadway Extension.
Oh, this is,
Yeah, north of 33rd.
3.
oh, okay, it's in Edmond. Okay. The Broadway Extension and 33rd.
Give me 1 second, I apologize.
So this is an older neighborhood, really older. Okay.
I must have inverted when I
The 10-digit number.
think I added another number when I subtracted. So you're talking 20, is it 24.5 Elwood?
Yes.
And
The assessor's at 208,500, and you're at 203,300.
yeah, I looked at a whole different one. Yeah, I agree with that value. Looking at
The 208,500. Okay.
I'd like to move on, agenda item number 7, BOE 355, that we set the fair market value per agreement of both parties at $208,500.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, close the hearing on 355 and move to item 8 on the agenda, 356, BOE 356, 3412 Prairie Avenue, R 1880 61 360. The assessor's at 356,000, and your paper.
256.
I'm sorry, 200. I'm looking right at 256,000. And Mr. Hayes, your paperwork says 238,000.
I'm at 252.5. Well, like I said before, looking at the sale for number 2. Once again, price point indicator 50,000 higher than the other sale, and it's smaller. It's the smallest property of the 3.
Okay.
That's fair. So didn't make any sense to me. And it was sold in February. All these properties sold in February. So I don't lie to you, I weighed heavily on number 1 because number 2, although it had a minimal adjustment of 20,000, in a different neighborhood. Number 3 was in a different neighborhood. They only provided 3 comps. I thought they would reach a little bit. I was going to ask for something close to last year's value, but I weighed heavily on number 1. Number 1, 82 square foot smaller, average 4 years older. Adjusted 248. I did the neighborhood concept, and I came to 52,500.
So you used comp
Two and
one?
three were wrong. We're not in the same neighborhood. Like I said, number 2, 1409, it has the highest. It sold for 60,000 higher than one, 50,000 higher than two, and all these sold in the month of February. It was a later sale. It sold for 60 and 50,000 higher than the other property.
But Mr. Hayes,
So I
you used comp one, but did you say you adjusted comp one to get to the 252?
Yes, I did a slight adjustment even farther there because
You adjusted it higher.
yeah, it adjusted to 248.5. I did a slight adjustment to it because looking at the price per square feet, look at the difference in the price per square feet. It's almost $60 from the three, and 146.01 and 202. That is not; those are not true comps. It's $60 per square feet. You can't; those are not comps that you compare when it comes to appraisal. No. Listen, we're barely at 1,500 square feet. How are you going $60 per square feet? That tells you right there they're not comps. They're not actually comps. And you're in a different neighborhood. So in this one, I don't know we provided. I don't even have it. Well, yeah, I see what we provided. I didn't even look. Most of the time, I don't look unless I don't really like your comp. And these you didn't provide the two, so I knew they wasn't very good. We have one for 100.
But your team only provided 3 comps on this one as well, so I assume that.
So it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. And 2 of them was in the neighborhood. One of them wasn't. So that being said, I just thought I weighed heavily on your number 1 and did a slight adjustment. That's how I got my 252.5.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
Yes, ma'am, if you give me one moment, I just
Sure.
wanna piece together. Okay. 3412 Prairie Avenue is on 33rd and Bryant and Boulevard. Kind of, it's right between the two again. We currently have it valued at $256,000. 23, it was $244,500, and 22, it was $229,000. It had a 50% remodel in 2016. It was acquired in 2022 as part of a multi-parcel sale, and originally had been acquired from Khalidi in 2021 for $239,000. It is a 1,589 square foot property, which gives us a price per square foot of $161.11. Our current median, it's a 3 comp report, so I don't put any real weight on the median there, but our current median is $257,533, and the mean is $270,904. I did go ahead and plug their 3 in as well, just to get a new 6 comp report, and that will give us a median of $253,000. $253,040, and then a mean of $263,042.
What was the year of the remodel again?
2016
Okay.
or 2016. Not a whole lot to say on this one. There weren't too many comps in the neighborhood. We had to use what we had. Plugging theirs in, I think actually does give us a more accurate look.
What's the acreage? The houses over by Bryant usually are on larger.
These
No,
aren't,
these are
these are
not.
developed neighborhoods. This is just to the west of First Baptist Church, if you're going on the corner.
Okay.
All of these neighborhoods, north and south of 33rd, are just nearly cookie cutter. The houses all look the same. They were built probably within a 5 to 10 year
And they're
span of
older?
each other. Yeah, they're
Yes.
70s homes for the most
Okay.
part.
That was too far. That was too far south. The further south you go, the larger the lots. Okay.
That's basically all I have to say.
Okay. Mr. Hayes, so he used 3 of yours. You guys are not that far apart, but so tell me once again which comps you used.
I didn't like all.
You just used comp one and he adjusted that.
But it wasn't a lot of movement in this neighborhood. I mean, I actually was going to request you to keep it close to last year's value, but I know that's not the amount of sales they have in the area got to raise, but we know we are going for the market for the neighborhood. So that's why
Okay.
next slide is number one. I say number two, definitely not, because it's been heavily upgraded. Sale price is $285,000. It's a little too high.
Okay, okay.
In terms of the square foot house,
What was the square footage?
The square footage on that one is,
1589.
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
every other about two, it's $2 grand, $3 grand. Square foot. So when you see that amount, I mean, that, and I hate to say this because it sounds insulting, but it's not. I mean, when you see property same, close to the same square feet within 100 square feet, people say, well, maybe they just wanted that house. No, they wanted that house. And they're going to pay $60,000 to $70,000 more because that house is much nicer than the inside.
okay. I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE 356 and move to item 9 on the agenda, which is BOE 357 6009 Northwest 62nd R 188 503965. Mr. Hayes, your paperwork says 164.8. Do you have a different number?
I'm at 186.5. On this particular one, once again, I'm still concerned about this concept of the effective age. If you look at number 3, which is closed. I still use it, but look at 18 years, 17.67. That's a bit much. I looked at the sale price for the 1325. It's well over $200,000. That's the price we barely estimated. And it's 300 square foot larger than 275 to be exact. Square foot larger than southern property, land smaller. Also,
What did you use to get
Number
to your
6.
186.5?
number 1, 2, and 3. Number 6 is too large. Number 5 is way too low. It's almost double. 66 years old. It's 30 years older than the property. And notice that it was a minimal sale of $149,000. I didn't use number 4 also because it was close. It's 68 years old. So,
Okay, so you didn't use 4 because it's the age. What was the reason for comp 5? That you didn't use comp 5?
5 was the same.
Age?
Yeah.
So what's the
Because of
age
the
on,
size of the age.
what is the age on 3, 4, and 5?
The actual age of the effective.
35.
The effective
40,
age.
30. The first one's 40,
55,
35,
37.
65 more. Like I said, I used 3 because number 4 and 5 was horrible. And number 6, that's 649 square foot.
68?
So,
Am I not seeing
no.
that far?
those ones are best. I use the ones that are the best companies. Like I said, I'm always going to point out,
645.
no, I do not like the 17.67, because that is 0.33 difference. When you talk about the actual 18 years, use at 18%, but we're at 17.67 for a home that is fair and is 18 years old. I do not believe that algorithm is off.
Okay, let's hear from the assessor.
Fantastic. 6009 Northwest 62nd Street is in War Acres. We're on 63rd and MacArthur. We currently have it valued at $201,500. In 23, it was $195,500, and in 22, it was $170,500. It was acquired in a 2022 multi-parcel sale, and before that, it was acquired in 2021 in the valid arm's length transaction for $165,000. There was a 45% remodel in 2021. We also had a bit of a GLA add-on that we ended up changing to the enclosed porch there. So that actually lowered the value a little bit when we had put that in several years ago. Not going to affect the value today. It is a 1,051 square foot house, which gives us a price per square foot of $191.72. We are looking at a median of $199,222. and a mean of $200,802. Now, we actually did use 3 of the Ryan comps provided in our initial 6 comp report. Our number 3 was their number 2. Our number 4 was their number 1. And our number 5 was their number 5. So several of the ones that Mr. Hayes has requested to throw out were all provided by them. Now, I do see that we have our value set at slightly above the median, but like I had spoken about earlier, we're not really using the paired sales analysis to come up with the value. We're just trying to use the paired sales analysis to show that we are very close to what we have it on. So despite being $1,000 over, I'm not going to recommend that we lower it any further.
Okay, final word, Mr. Hayes.
Well, I noticed you said that you're using our comp. Well, let's
He did.
understand. Let's understand something. All the comps that are received, you guys will have. So we're going to have some of the same comps. That's why I normally go to these places and use their own comps, unless I can really find something they don't have, because you guys get everything, because everything is usually reported. We're pulling the same data that you have. We're just trying to get a different data to get the price lower. But the concept is, you guys are God. You guys have all the data. That's standard. So when he says you got the same comps, why do you think I use your data? Because I know you have it.
Say something. Essentially, the reason we're making a point of saying that we're using the comps provided by Ryan LLC is because the burden of proof that our values are incorrect lies with the taxpayer. So we try to use the evidence they provide, and when their evidence supports our values as much as our evidence does, that's what we're doing. Any assertion that our adjustments are wrong, that the physical data of the subject property is wrong, or even that the comps we're using is wrong, it all needs to have proof that is provided by the taxpayer. Otherwise, it's an opinion. We don't put any weight on that. That's what
all this concept is an opinion. That's what the whole concept of appraisal is about. When we finish speaking, they're going to deliberate on this Friday, and we go off their opinion. And that's my point of this whole process. It's my opinion.
Now, Mr. Hayes, a sale is not an opinion. A sale is not an opinion.
True, but the concept of how you deviate to the opinion based off the math appraisal. That's what this is. Your opinion of value using multiple values. Which ones do you use? How you break the ones you use down.
Okay.
Remember, when I discredit, I tell you a reason why. It's my opinion why that's value. That's just
Okay, let me just make this suggestion. You guys are segregated in your process. And that is leading to part of the problem. I suggest that if you think a comp should not be used, don't send it to the assessor. But somebody in your shop sent what they thought was a valid comp to determine the fair market value to the assessor. But then you come in here, having been segregated from that process, and toss your own client's information that he wants to use, and then turn around and belittle the assessor for using the very comp your client sent in here. So I don't know what you expect for us to do with it when it is your client who sent the information as a valid reason to use for assessing the value. You need to understand the position you're. So I suggest for next year, before you all bring this in here, get it together what you think is a valid comp, so that we don't come in here and hear you say my client is an idiot.
I didn't say that.
Well, yes, you did. You're basically saying if you toss a comp your client sent, you are on the integrity of your own client. And then you want us to say, yeah, they're idiots. We agree with you, Mr. Hayes. We won't use that. Okay, those are my words. So I'm going to close the hearing on BOE. I'm going to close the hearing on 3357. What?
Make sure that's not my intention.
Okay. Well, that's how I'm taking it. So then we're going to move on to item 10 on the agenda, BOE 358-16112 Point Manor Lane, R204-971410. The assessor is requesting a valuation of $443,000, and your paperwork says $408,600. Do you have a different number?
I'm at 436.5.
Okay, how did you arrive at 436.5?
I actually used pretty much all five, but since 1 and 3 were basically the same, they would average out to 454,500. I did the value of those two. Yeah, I mean, basically the same, and 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, and 5.
I'm sorry,
And I got it.
can you repeat that again? Which comps did you use to get to the 436.5?
I literally think 1 and 3 were the same. I just used them as one because one was 454, 460, one was 454, 653. So I was rounding off to both 454, 500. So 1 and 3 were the same. So I used the average between two, and the other 4 because it was only 5, not 6. So I basically used them all, but I combined 1 and 2, 1 and 3. But they basically all the same number.
Or you just removed one of them?
Yeah. They're basically the same number. And I did the mean of all.
Okay, let's hear from the assessor.
All right. 16112 Point Manor Lane in Oklahoma City is in the intersection of 164th and MacArthur. And we currently have it valued at $443,000. In 2023, it was $435,500. In 2022, it was $377,000. In 2022, it was acquired as part of a multi-parcel sale. In 21, it was acquired from Khalidi for $389,000. It is a 272,793 square foot property valued at $158.61 per square foot. I did go ahead, since it was a 5-comp report, I just plugged in the last one of Ryan's, the most comparable of the remaining, because we did use 2 of them in our initial report. So to make that, ended up changing our median to 442,600, or sorry, that's the mean. The median is 448,739. The mean is 442,693. So we're sitting right at where we have them valued by using their comps. Comp 2 and Comp 3 were both provided by Ryan. Comp 2, or R2 is there 2. Our 3 is there 1. And then when I plugged in number 6, that was there 5.
Okay.
And I don't have anything further to say. Our comps plus theirs speak very clearly for themselves.
Okay. So by his using 5 of them, he's using some of the ones that his own clients.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna close the hearing on
Hang on one second. What was your median on your original comps?
The original comps, go ahead and trade back real quick. The median on the original is 443,591, and the mean's 440, and we would round that down to just 440.
Thank you.
What did you mean original?
So we ran a
Well,
5-comp
he added the
report
taxpayer.
initially,
I got you.
and then I plugged in one of theirs just to make it a 6-comp report.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah,
Can
just
I-
a second, but when you made it 6, then one of them duplicated, and that's why he tossed.
There
one
wasn't
of
a duplicate one. Go ahead and scroll up to 1 and
Maybe she's
3.
just saying they were
Just the
similar
same.
Saying they
values.
essentially
Gotcha.
came
Okay.
up, their adjusted sales
Okay.
price came out the same. They're
Okay.
2 separate sales.
Okay.
Adjusted.
Okay, now Mr. Hayes, sorry.
So once again, I want to point this out. I want to pay close attention to the record range. Now we are dealing with a larger property. We are dealing with a different CDU. But notice that 1 year is 0.62, 4 years is 0.242, 11 years is 5.2.
Right, but you used all those comps though, right?
Yes, but I'm just showing you the difference, how it's changing now. The algorithm's changing. It's just, well, you can say the grade and the size is a factor of H based off the building concept in the same neighborhood. So I just wanted to point that out. Yes. And of course I use those because they're all in symmetry too.
They're all what?
They're all in symmetry. They're all close.
Okay.
And the oldest property is 11 years newer than the subproperty. I mean, 9 years newer than the subproperty. And as you can see, I noticed the negative -5%. So I thought, I just wanted to bring that up because I've been talking on that for you to see that. And now the adjustment is not as high.
Okay.
I wanted to bring that up.
Okay, I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE 358 and go to item 11 on the agenda, which is BOE 359 13109 Bright Prairie Circle, R 205 351 200. Mr. Hayes, your paperwork is showing 246.6. Do you have a different number?
I'm at 250.
250?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Looking at,
What'd you base it off of?
I only used 2 on this one. Looking at, once again, going to another concept of looking at the size. Number 1, number 4 were very close in size. Number 2, sale price was higher, and it was 100 square foot larger than the southern property. It sold one day. Number 3, 1640, in the same neighborhood, the same subdivision, 6 years older. It sold in October. It sold for right at what I wanted, 250. And when it adjusted 24,000. I don't see how that adjusted. It's only 6 years older. It's so close to the end of the year. I didn't think the adjustments was fair. It adjusted 4.2%, 4.12%, 127 square foot, smaller than the southern property. We're talking about property. Now we're over 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, but can you tell me, so which 2 did you use?
I used the 1 and 4. I started off with that.
You used comps 1 and 4?
Yes, 1 sold for 2. In November 28th, the end of the year, okay, look at the adjustment. I didn't like the adjustment. It adjusted $18,000 and it sold 33 days from the end of the year. And it's 5 square foot small and it's 9 years older. Look at the adjustments on the age discount. It's 0.02. Then I go down to number 4, slightly larger, 48 square foot larger. It sold for less. But at the beginning of it adjusted to 245. It only adjusted 5,000. So the time adjustment on this one, by being 48 square foot larger and it's 9 years older, brings it to 245. So I like those two. That's why I said 250.
Can I ask a question here?
Sure.
Did the subject property have a remodel?
There's no remodel on
No
the subject
remodel?
property.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You used the mean of comps 1 and 4? Mr. Hayes?
No, I used the sale price.
You used the sale price.
Yeah. That was to me, that was on point. They pretty much the same size difference with the age. But I justified it by the property that's older than it that sold for less, for 240. So I just came to the price that's closer. They both are older and 27 years old. That's what they have in common. The land is larger on one, the land is exactly the same on the other. Over 250 at the end of the year. So that's a pretty good price in the same neighborhood, in different subdivisions. Everything's pretty much the same on this property. That's the same property, just one 9 years old and the other. And I justified paying 250 because there's a property that's 48 square foot larger, 9 years old, with more land. Everything pretty much the same, in the same neighborhood. So sold for 10,000 less.
It's a big neighborhood. Brent, does that neighborhood go across the intersection? The north-south intersection?
That is Memorial and, what are this?
No, the one on the right. Go right there. Keep going. No, keep going to the right. To the right.
The other way.
Right, the other right.
They see that street that's going per. So that
Uh-huh.
neighborhood is big.
It's a big neighborhood.
It's a
That's
big- there you go,
in
see.
Putman City or north or south Deer Creek. Probably south Deer Creek right there.
I see. Okay. Okay, let's hear from the assessor.
All right. 13109 Bright Prairie Circle is, well, as we saw, it's on Rockwell and Memorial, the Turnpike right there.
Oh, okay.
And then we currently have it valued at $258,000. In 23, it was $242,000, and in 22, it was $212,500. It was acquired in a multi-parcel 2022 sale. And then before that, they had acquired it from Khalidi in 21 for $204,000. It is a 1,757 square foot property, which gives us a price per square foot of $146.84. Our median value is $261,508. Our mean is $260,643. So both of those are above their current value. The 6 comp report we ran included 4 comps provided by Ryan LLC. Our comp 3 is their 6. Our comp 4 is their 4. Our comp 5 is their 3. And our comp 6 is their 2. As far as the quality of our comps goes, the 2 that are the least adjusted would be our comp 4 and our comp 2. Which Mr. Hayes wanted to throw out comp 2, however, it only has $6,000 of adjustments. That's not even something we can entertain at the table. I have no further comments or concerns to add to that.
Okay.
Unless you have any further questions.
Last word, Mr. Hayes.
So if you look at number 2 comp, it's 100 square foot larger. Number 1 comp is 5 square foot small. So which one do you think is a better comp?
Why can't you use both of them? You have a problem with a comp. Why can't you use both of them?
If one is 100, I used to do the 2 that were close. 1456 is 300 square foot small, 1583.
That we have 6 comps here and you're only using 2 of them. So my question, just because you have a problem with a comp, is that you're supposed to like disregard it?
No, I'm not saying disregard it, but if I'm in a neighborhood where a property is pretty much the same as mine, when I want to closer value to that property, especially if it's a recent sale, because they're going to pay their taxes based off their property value. Should you want to be in unison with that?
Okay.
As compared to a property that's 100 square foot more, that's being judged from a mass appraisal. So you can break it down to a simple concept when you have properties that are the same size.
Okay.
Same exact size should play a factor in that.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. So you're at 250 and they're at 258. So I'm going to close the hearing on BOE 359 and go to item 12 on the agenda, BOE 360, 5541 Crooked Creek Road, R 208 16 1090. Your paperwork is 202,000, Mr. Hayes. You have a different number?
I'm at 2065.
Okay. What is the assessor at?
We have it on for 210.
Okay, go, Mr. Hayes.
I for 1 point, I use 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Okay.
Number 4, Well, on this one, I just disqualified those because we were actually trying to stay somewhat close to the subdivision.
So you're saying four and five were too far away?
The only one that was in the subdivision was number 5 and 6.
You used 6. You said 1, 2, 3, and 6,
No,
right?
I'm sorry, number 4 and 5. Number 6 wasn't
Okay.
208,816.
Okay.
Comp 2 was 0.14 miles, which you used. Comp 4 is 0.11. Comp 5 is 0.12. So 4 and 5 are not as far away as Comp 2 is.
Like I said, in this case, I saw it was the same subdivision. I looked at all the parameters, all the way to 20816. 0412 is another subdivision, could very well be a different building. Knowing what I know about the building, with the property being effective age of 12 years, anything built within the last 20 years can have 2 different buildings in the neighborhood.
Where is this?
This is between Sooner and Reno.
Surrender. So this is in Midway City?
Del City.
Del City.
Yeah, Crutchville area.
Surrender. Oh, yeah, Crutchville.
That's
Here's
Crutchville
the creek.
right there.
Yeah, okay. Wait, let's hear from the assessor. This is a strange area, Mr. Hayes. I'm just gonna tell you, there's a creek that goes through that floods. And our commissioner has to spend a lot of money keeping that area up. Go ahead, Mr. Superman.
This is 5541 Crooked Creek Road in Del City. We currently have it valued at $210,000. In 23, it was $202,000, and in 22, it was $168,000. Acquired in 22 as part of a multi-parcel sale, and before that, it was acquired in 21 with a valid qualified $165,000 sale. It is 1,520 square feet, which gives us a price per square foot of $138.16. Ryan submitted 5 comps. We did use all 5 of them in our analysis. We currently have a median of $212,000, $212,218, and a mean of $210,553. So very well supported by our values, both of them. I want to point out that though they are considered different subdivisions, there have been no adjustments made for subdivisions, which shows that they're all within a similar sort of economic area, similar quality. Go ahead and scroll up to the map there. You'll see, even on that map, all of them are just a little bit down the street. They're essentially, it's as close of a cluster as we can get with properties. Now, we, like I said, we did a 6 comp report, 5 were Ryan's. Our comp 1 was their number 2. Our comp 2 was their number 5. Our comp 3 was their number 1. Our comp 4 was their number 3. Our comp 5 was their number 4. In fact, the only comp that we used that they didn't provide is the lowest valued one on the chart. But I'm happy to have that there. Again, in the spirit of fairness, we're not just trying to cherry pick the highest values. We're looking at all of them, finding our best comps, and coming up with a fair, mean, and median out value. And again, demonstrate that our model is accurate. And I have nothing further to say.
Anything to add, Mr. Hayes?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna close the hearing on BOE 360 and go to item 13 on the agenda, which is BOE 361 7604. I don't know if that's Lipizan or Lipizan Road, R215201-630. Your paperwork says 235.9, Mr. Hayes. You're gonna stick with that one, 235,900.
I made 243, and I tried something different this time.
I can do
It's
242.
No, so, whoa.
Hang on.
The assessor says he can do 243.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Okay, so,
I'll take it.
All right.
let's have a motion.
I move on BOE, or agenda item number 13, BOE 361, that we set by agreement of both parties the fair market value of this property at $243,000.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just for my benefit, where is this? 76, I don't know that street.
to the Wilshire and Council.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so gonna close 361, Wilshire Council. And open up item 14, which is our last item to discuss today. BOE's 363, 2840 Northwest 44th, R05 9752 600. The assessor says 212, and Mr. Hayes, your paperwork says 198.6. You got a different number?
Is that 2820 Northwest 44?
Yeah.
I would say 2065.
Okay. Go.
Okay. So, number one, too large. I hope you can agree with that. We're talking 1,200, and based off the sale price, and it shows you that it's been upgraded. So when I say too large, I'm looking at the land with the concept of 286 square foot, which is almost 300 square foot. We're talking almost 25% square footage of the subject property. Okay. That's a little bit large. And you can kind of tell, look at the difference between the sale price of number one and number two. $75,000. We're talking about, could be no more than 1,000, slightly over 1,000 square feet. No, not too common. Number four, even though it's close to the size, I didn't use that one because it's the smallest. Look at the price of that one. It's over 204. So you got a variation of sizes, but then you also have a variation of cost too. Anytime you see that with properties under 1,300, 1,400 square feet, what are you paying for? You're paying for the amenities, the adjustments, the upgrades that may not or may have been cost. So in eliminating number one, too large at the high sale price. Number four, the smallest with a sale price to indicate that it's been upgraded with 1,261.70 for 197.
Mr. Hayes, can I just ask real quickly though, because you're throwing out comp 4 because it's the smallest, but it's only 1,102 square feet compared to 1,200 square feet of the property. However, it's closer to the subject property than comps 3, 5, and 6. So what's your reasoning for using, just because it's a little bit smaller, throwing it out versus being closer to the property?
But look at the sale price. Look at the sale price.
Yes, a willing buyer bought it for that price.
But that kind of tells you that normally it's been upgraded over 200,000.
Oh, we're back to that upgrade.
Can we see if that's has a remodel on it?
Hold up, wait a minute, Mr. Hayes. Whoa.
We're gonna check.
We're gonna check the property.
Comp 4.
Since comp 4 is at 48, effective age of 48, it probably does not.
That's what I'm assuming, but I want to check.
Absolutely. Here, I can read you the R number if you want. That'll make this a little easier for you.
Okay, go ahead.
It's going to be R08.
So look at 1261, 160 square foot large property. It's fair. It's 2 years old. It's sold for 1.8. It's almost $25,000. We're not talking about $300,000-$400,000 property. We're talking about $200,000 property. No close to 1,500 square feet. You have to factor in the size and economy of scale per square feet per sale.
But it's not. Is it an upgrade?
Square feet. If you sell the property for $85 a square foot, and you got a property that's 160 square foot selling for $43 less, that's the price point indicator. It's 7 per square foot because it's probably been upgraded. That's the concept of appraisal.
Just wanted to check.
Sorry, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's
So which comps did you use to get to the 206, 500?
2, 3, 5, and 6.
2, 3, 5, and 6. 2, 3.
Look at the sale price. The largest one is what? The largest one is 1,306. That should be the highest sale at 242 because you're under 1,500. You're paying per square feet. And look what it's on 185. Look at 1102. 204 square foot smaller. It's sold for 185 square feet.
But Mr. Hayes, is 206,500 the mean of 2, 3, 5, and 6 sales price?
Should be the adjusted price.
I'm sorry.
I just can't figure out when you use the adjusted price. and when you
206,
use the
yeah,
sale
it's
price.
the mean. It's the average
Most
of
of the,
those.
most of the
for
time, I use the adjusted price. Don't use the adjusted price. And I've been harping on that, but I don't agree with the effective age
Okay.
or stuff like that. I don't think that's correct.
But-
Because they were adjusting one. Once again, as you look at the adjust, and I wasn't gonna say this, but pay close attention to the effective age and the adjustment.
Okay,
Look at number 5. I wasn't gonna say it, but I did write it down. It's 2.07. Why is it 2 years? Why is it over 2% per year? Over 1% per year?
okay, let's hear
But you
from,
go the other way, it's negative 1.95.
okay, let's hear from the assessor.
Certainly. 2820 Northwest 44th Street in Oklahoma City. We are on May and 39, 44, all that.
Okay.
The highway, excuse me. And we have it valued at $212,000. In 23, it was $204,500, and in 22, it was $177,000. It was acquired in 22 as part of a multi-parcel sale, and before that, in 21, as a arm's length qualified $181,000 transaction. This property has also been remodeled. It had a 40% remodel in 2016. It is a 1,200 square foot property, which gives us $176.67 per square foot. Our current median supports a value of $223,000, and our mean supports a value of $219,000, both of which are above our current valuation. Almost all of our comps have been remodeled, it looks like, but I just want to point out that essentially that's going to change the effective age of the comps, which is accounted for in our adjustments. Apologies. I went ahead and reran everything with Ryan's 4 comps that they provided. Honest, I shouldn't have used number 4, but again, since I was able to get it in there, I wanted to, in the spirit of trying to be fair and equitable, I went ahead and used it. It is 30% adjusted. Go ahead and scroll down and see what the dollar amount there. Up.
But you're saying all of these have had a remodel at some
Just
point?
about, yes, sir.
Okay.
I can't tell you which exactly without digging into it for a while, but Mr. Frangione, he just went through while he was presenting and said at least a significant portion of them had.
Okay.
So number 4 had $89,000 of adjustments made to it. So it's not a great comp, but again, included it. If we look at all 4 of theirs and only theirs, we get a median of $215,000 and a mean of $219,000. And then if we actually toss comp 4 for its insane
Wait,
adjustment.
did they include comp 4 in their comps?
Yes, ma'am. This is only the comps they provided. So I'm just trying to show you
So
that
the
even
comp 4
with,
you're talking about is not your comp.
correct,
You're
it's
talking about his
Ryan's comp 4. Yes, ma'am. Which is a
Okay.
whole separate report. We didn't use any of their comps in our initial 6 comp report.
Okay.
But essentially, it's not going to change anything. It's already a supported value. Getting rid of comp 4 raises both the median and the mean. We can get into numbers if you'd like, but there's no real reason to. I have nothing further to say on that either.
Okay, you get the last word, Mr. Hayes.
Nothing further, man.
Okay, then that does us for the week, and we will meet on Friday and set our values. And do you know how long it's been taking you to get the response from us or notice from us on our values?
We don't get it Friday, we get it that following Monday.
Okay. Well, yeah, you couldn't get it Friday because we just do it Friday. Okay. All right. So do we see you next week? 2 days, which Monday? Monday and Wednesday. Okay. So we'll see you on Monday.
Oh, I'm just going to put them together.
Okay. Have a nice weekend.
Oh, you too, man.
Okay.
You too, lady.
All right. Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see.